Even though this time of year can be fun, and certainly we all hope that it will be an enjoyable season, let's face it, it often comes with a lot of stress. And for each of us, that stress can take on different forms. But if you suffer from an eating disorder, the hustle and bustle, the holiday parties, maybe even just the stress itself can add often an added worry. So we're so happy this morning to have Courtney Stoddard join us. She's with Focus Treatment Centers and finds success for her clients and patients and often friends on a regular basis. So good to see you this morning, Courtney.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you. So, I guess let's start with what might be the obvious for people watching, and that is the holiday parties, because so often this season revolves around food, and that's the epicenter of the concern for the people you're helping every day.
That's right. The holidays can be a stressful time and can be a hard time for people with mental health issues. And the gathering and parties in particular can be hard because there's an abundance of foods. And these foods often are including what we call trigger foods and fear foods for people who struggle with restricting, compulsive overeating, and binging behavior.
Okay, so, we often, I'll just kind of jump right in. If you have a friend who is an alcoholic, you might know if you're going to have that person come to your house, you'll be careful to not serve alcohol, or at least to be mindful of how he or she is taking things at the party. I guess the same is kind of true with an eating disorder. If you know that the person you're inviting has this struggle, is it helpful then to at least have safe offerings for them to enjoy?
Sure, but we really work with our patients more on preparing kind of for the worst scenario, because we know that the world isn't going to change, to adapt to them feeling safe. And so we really try to prepare them for for gatherings, for social situations and things like that, to navigate the difficulties that they might encounter.
I think the last time you were here, we were having a conversation out on our porch, and we talked about how in an unexpected way, COVID became beneficial for you because the virtual side of things kicked into high gear, and you have been able to actually, by having virtual classes, reach people that otherwise wouldn't have access to you, right?
That's true. With our virtual eating disorders program, we can treat anyone in Tennessee and Georgia, whereas before it just had to be local to Chattanooga.
So you use a word called fear. I think you were using the word, or safe. You said in order for them to feel safe. It's hard for people to understand, I think, sometimes when they're new in the walk as the supporting source for someone who has an eating disorder, that it really is a mental illness. So the emotional part of this is key to understanding, right?
That's right. It's a psychological disorder. It's not someone's choice to feel fear about certain foods. And it's not really about the food, but that's how the disorder manifests.
Okay, so offer us a few ideas, because I know everyone watching is not necessarily familiar with Focus. They haven't even thought about giving you a call. Maybe they have something coming up this weekend that they're nervous about. What are some things, if you struggle with an eating disorder, that you can do to kind of prepare you more for an experience?
Sure, and I think these tips could even apply, maybe to the average person who might even just, have some low self-esteem or struggle with some diet mentality. But the tips that I offer are to avoid restricting the day of a party or an event. So oftentimes, either anxiety leading up to the event or the feeling of fear about eating certain foods might cause someone to skip meals. But this actually is a setup for overeating or binging later in the day by not fueling your body properly. So we encourage people to eat those regular meals throughout the day, even a snack before, so your body is fueled. You're in a good place mentally and physically to enter that event.
How much, was there another one you wanted to share? Because go ahead if I cut you off.
Sure. Well, the next one would just be enjoy time with friends and family. So try and push away those judgmental or preoccupying thoughts that might come up about food. Don't let that take away from this special time. and try to distract with a good conversation.
If you are somebody who has a fear of heights, often you've heard it said that if you can just then try to walk up 2 flights of stairs and incrementally work your way into finding that you can do it, you feel success. Is the same true here, that if you have you mentioned the anxiety of going into a party, if you can just do it, even if you stay for an hour and leave early, when you get back in your car, you know, hey, I accomplished something, and that empowers you for the next time?
Absolutely. We're all about small steps and exposure to fears, and that includes foods and these situations. We would be making a plan with our patients, for go-to skills to use when that anxiety comes up, plan for small steps to incorporating some of these fear foods with support. And so absolutely, that's a big part of the recovery process.
I'm going to let you end it there because you mentioned the key word, which is support, and that's what you're doing on a regular basis. Obviously, you and I spoke in generalities this morning, but when people come into your care, they get that personalized approach. There is a group dynamic to it, but also the individual side as well, so that they are getting really that custom care start to completion to get them to success.
That's right.
You can find more by going online to focustreatmentcenters.com. You're also welcome to give them a call, 423-308-2560. And as you heard Courtney say, whether you're in Tennessee or Georgia now, by nature of these virtual classes, you are able to access their expert care and find 2022 on your road to success. Thank you, Courtney.
Thanks so much. Happy holidays.
Same to you.